drinking coffee and talking. So there's my version of that.
There you go.
Yeah.
August, Schmaugust, yeah.
Leslie, what in terms of the Complete Streets Advisory Board and the work of Reinvent Phoenix, what are you working on right now that you want to talk a little bit more about?
Well, we're working on finalizing the Complete Streets policy and the design guidelines. We're very excited about it. Our advisory board has decided to incorporate most of the recommendations of NACTA, which is the National Association of City Transportation Officials, which put out the Urban Street Design Guide, which Phoenix uses, and it's a very much more urban way of looking at our streets that really promote walking and biking and transit as well as vehicular use. And it's mostly, it's been vetted and designed by engineers. Right now we're working hard with some members of the development community to make sure that these guidelines also support the kinds of projects they're trying to do. And we're hoping to bring something forward to council within the next few months for adoption.
You know, and for people who haven't been part of the NACTO design guidelines and are wondering what those things look like, I would say just think about this. You know, we talked earlier about that person who pulls into their driveway versus an activated neighborhood. Well, imagine yourself on a busy street corner in Phoenix where 2, 4, or 6 lane roads come together and you're about to cross the street and you feel like you don't belong.
Yeah.
Well, the design guidelines are the opposite of that. The design guidelines present options that make a pedestrian feel like he or she belongs, that make a cyclist feel like he or she is welcome and not in danger. That's really the main thrust, and there are so many people who have thought about good ways to do that. As we also like to say about cycling, you can get the spandex crowd to show up and weave their way through traffic any day. But if you want a parent...
Someone like Mel.
Right. If you want Mel?
I'm on my bike, and I'm using side streets, and I use the canal routes.
Yeah.
And sometimes bike lanes.
Right.
But I'm not going to be zipping down a major artery like the spandex people. That's just, I'm a one speeder.
Right. But we could get you there if we gave you a safe environment to do.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
And a welcoming environment.
And Tempe, I'm a Tempe resident. They're doing a great job there. I see these bikes shared out in Mesa now, much more. And so this is happening. Can I tell you both? I was here in the 80s when Valtrans was put as a vote, and the naysayers and the people that said, no, it's going to be a waste of taxpayers' money. And then when the light rail was presented they trotted out the same pseudo-economist, and I see him every once in a while in a store, and I want to go up and tap him on the shoulder, John and Leslie, and say, have you seen the amount of people using the light rail that you said they wouldn't use? And look at the development along those lines. I've been around for all of that. This stuff works.
It does, and I think one of the toughest things about healthy community design work, and Leslie, chime in on this, but I think one of the toughest things about it is you don't realize how good it is until it's done. It's very difficult to convince people how important it is and how good it is beforehand.
Yeah.
Once it happens, everybody goes, well, of course that was a good idea.
You have the storefront people where they had the street ripped up and they're always complaining, and that's a tough one, but they're not complaining now because they've got new customers.
That's right.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
So I can say I've also been around a really long time. I actually was one of the people that did the first pedestrian plan for the region, and it really is, in our valley, it really was, we built it and they came, and they keep on coming, and so it's good for the valley.
And you've got something good when now, I've seen, for example, the GPEC, the Greater Phoenix Economic Council, they show up to one of our meetings related to Reinvent Phoenix, and we're going, what are you doing here? And they say, well, we heard that you guys know, because what we're getting is employers who say, we want to relocate to Phoenix, but in order to have the employee base that we want, we need an old building that we can, an old warehouse space that we can do adaptive reuse on, and it's got to be on the light rail. Can you tell us where to find that? And that's when you know you're starting to hit your stride, and that's what's going on right now, which is terrific.
I have a question for both of you as we're talking on this, because I call them kind of circulator shuttles, and these are operating in various neighborhoods. Is that expanding, or does that work itself effectively, and then you have the folks that need a ride. You know, there's the ability to have somebody